My name is John Mejia. I'm an American entrepreneur and business consultant. I've been very fortunate to be involved in the TV and media world, and over the years, I have met, worked with, and interviewed hundreds of people. From billionaire business moguls to top political figures to movie stars, celebrities, and superstar athletes. Yeah, those who are on top of their game. I've always had a passion for meeting people and learning about their story and life journey to get deeper insight about who they are and what they did to achieve their success. That's why I was inspired to create this show, to feature top entrepreneurs and business people, to share with you their stories so we could all learn from. So get ready to enter the zone with the Business Zone TV show, right here, right now. Welcome to the Business Zone TV show, the show that brings you in-depth interviews with CEOs, entrepreneurs, and celebrities. I'm your host, John Mejia, and in today's show, we have the one and only Kevin Harrington. Let's take a look. Meet Kevin Harrington. With over 500 products launched and generating over $5 billion in product sales in over 100 countries, Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial. As seen on TV pioneer and original shark on the Emmy Award-winning TV show Shark Tank. Kevin creates massive brands by combining great products with superstar talent like Kim Kardashian, 50 Cent, Kathy and Paris Hilton, Kris Jenner, CeeLo Green, George Foreman, Montel Williams, Jack LaLanne, Flo Rida, Hulk Hogan, Billy Mays, Paula Abdul, and Tony Little. Kevin has been featured on 2020, CNN, Fox Business, Bloomberg, Jim Cramer's The Street, MTV, Good Morning America, the CBS Morning News, The Today Show, The View, and the Daily Double on Jeopardy!
Now the last clue, back to the Shark Tank.
I'm Kevin Harrington.
A renowned speaker, Kevin has appeared on stage for organizations like AT&T, Microsoft, United States Postal Service, Humana, 3M, FedEx, Auburn University, Harvard, and MIT. Kevin has authored several books, including Act Now, How I Turned Ideas into Million-Dollar Products, and the bestseller, How to Become a Key Person of Influence. Kevin helped to found EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization, and ERA, the Electronic Retailing Association, receiving their Lifetime Achievement Award. An entrepreneur for over 40 years, Kevin has built 20 businesses to over $100 million each. That's why he's the original shark from Shark Tank and known as the $1 Billion Man. I had this exclusive opportunity to sit down with Kevin near his home in beautiful downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, and meet at the Marriott Courtyard Hotel to really go deep in learning about his incredible life journey and lessons. I know there's so much to learn about your journey, and there's so many lessons you can teach us on today's visit. So we thank you for being here. This is the first interview for 2020. This is the first interview of the new decade.
Thanks for having me. What a mouthful, and I'm really excited to be kicking off the decade with you right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. I know you have a time constraint today, so we're going to be moving really fast. We're going to be on Kevin Harrington pace, double time, and I'm going to break this interview and our conversation down into 5 parts. Part number 1, we're going to talk about the young Kevin Harrington on the entrepreneurial side and how you got started. Part number 2, about the TV infomercials and what made you king of infomercials. Part 3, of course, Shark Tank on ABC, yes, and your involvement there as one of the original sharks. Part number 4, the new digital world and the new world order that's going on, where you're making a game-changing difference right now. And part 5, we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to pry out some secrets out of you that our audience can take advantage of and give some special insight from Kevin Harrington.
Beautiful.
So let's get it started. Let's talk about the entrepreneurial start, the young Kevin Harrington.
Yes.
From what I understand and doing my research and knowing you as I have over the years, at 15 years old, you had a driveway ceiling business that you started.
Correct.
And then you had then you progressed into an HVAC business that did over $1 million in sales, and then ultimately a deal with Entrepreneur Magazine. You had your own business center with 30 locations. Take me back in time, the driveway ceiling business at 15 years old.
All right, so I'll step back a couple years because I was fortunate. I grew up in a family, 6 kids. My father was a bartender, but he saved up money to become an entrepreneur. He opened Harrington's Irish Pub. So at 11 years old, I started working in my father's restaurants and bars. And so I wasn't just a bar back or a dishwasher, which I did all of that kind of stuff, but he was bringing me into learning the operations of the actual restaurant itself. I would help him close out the money at the end of the night, and I would count the products and the beer as it came in, and all the different suppliers bringing stuff in and out. So I really was learning the business side, and that's when he said, you need to be an entrepreneur. So at 15 years old, I'm in high school, I started a driveway sealing business, just knocking on doors. Now in Ohio, if you had a crack in your driveway and it got cold in the winter, that water would freeze and triple the size of the crack.
Right.
I knock on the door, let me put some filler in there, beautify your driveway. I'm doing 10 jobs a week. That was in high school. Now, when I got to college, my dad said, hey, you're the fourth of 6. The bad news, you've got to pay for your college, okay? So that's tuition, books, room and board, utilities, a car, etc. So,
and you were in Cincinnati,
I was
right?
in Cincinnati,
Ohio.
so
Gotcha.
I said, I can't be doing just a summertime driveway sealing business. I got to start something year-round, heating and air conditioning. So I was actually buying leads from the courthouse in in Cincinnati, Ohio, where people that had just bought a new home, it was a public record. So I paid for these leads coming out of the courthouse, called them up, and offered them a free furnace cleaning and a safety check on their furnace. Of course, we were now getting 15 to 20 new clients a week.
Now, did your dad give you that idea, or you had been programmed
this was
after
my
a few
own
years?
idea as I was out hustling and becoming an entrepreneur.
Jeez.
So we were picking up 15 to 20 new customers a week while I'm in college. And as this built, I had 25 employees. We're doing $1 million in business.
Back in the 70s,
back in the
right?
70s, okay?
Holy
It's the equivalent of about 5 million in sales today. So now, we weren't building the next Facebook, okay? But it was a fun business, and we were making money. So, what happened, that I decided, by the time I got to my 3rd year of college, University of Cincinnati, I couldn't run 25 employees, be in the office, and go to school. So I actually dropped out of college. So my mom wasn't happy, but after things progressed for me and I was successful, she had one daughter that married a doctor, daughter that married a lawyer. My brother was a corporate executive, and I was the entrepreneur. So, but I decided I had to sell my business because heating and air conditioning was very labor-oriented, very localized in Cincinnati. I went to sell it, talked to some business brokers, and I'm sitting there at a brokerage office. This guy had 200 businesses for sale. He had the books and records and the inner workings and leases of hundreds of businesses. And I'm like, well, I want to buy something. Well, what I really decided to do was to also get into that business of brokering businesses, because I said, if I become a business broker, I can learn the inside out of hundreds of businesses while I'm deciding what I actually want to do. Maybe I can partner with some of these folks. So I started partnering with some of the companies. I became a mini shark, okay? Because these were, we were selling delicatessens, flower shops, import, export companies, manufacturing companies, restaurants, bars, you name it. But this was
and you were selling business services, right?
Yes, and so I said, once you buy the business, maybe you need accounting, maybe you need advertising, maybe you need some jingles or new menus or insurance. So we created the Small Business Center. I rented a whole floor of an office building in downtown Cincinnati, and then I rented space, kind of like today you see WeWorks. They rent a floor, they rent the space. Well, I rented a floor, rented space just to synergistic small business service companies. We had insurance, we had accounting, we had advertising. We had a small advertising agency, graphic. It was called the Small Business Center. We then went into Entrepreneur Magazine, did a big story on me, put me on the cover back in the early 80s. And they said, look at this Small Business Center concept. I got 800 inquiries from all around the world. And entrepreneurs said, let's just license this around the country, and we opened up 30 of these small business centers in partnership with Entrepreneur Magazine. So this was back in the mid-'80s.
I mean, and if your life story, business story ended right there with that incredible story, I mean, you would have accomplished a lot. One thing that I do remember of the story that you shared back in the driveway, you talked about a transformation or pictures.
Right.
I mean, you were already leveraging. You were preparing yourself for the future. Talk a little bit about that. What you did with the driveways.
When I first started, I'm 15 years old. I'm on my bicycle.
15 years.
I'm on my bicycle. Didn't have a driver's license, right? So I bought a truck. Now I can own the truck, but I can't drive the truck. Okay. So, but I'm riding on my bicycle up to people's houses and knocking on their door and saying, "Hey, let me seal your driveway." And they're like, "Well, hey, thanks, kid. You know, where's the owner of the company?" They look back. I'm like, "I'm the owner." Like, "Well, come back when you get some experience." You know. So what I would do is I would go into the neighborhood, get one job done almost for free, just to cover the cost of my material. I'd take a picture before I did the job.
Oh, man.
I'd take a picture after. Put a sign up across the driveway, and now I had the before and after magical transformation, right? And so little did I know, but this was setting me up for the wonderful world of infomercials later, which I think we're going to be talking about, where infomercials was all about before and after and magical transformation. So this was the beginning of the magical transformation.
I mean, the seeds were planted. Let me ask you this question, just from an entrepreneurial standpoint. And you had a mentor. You had your dad who kind of laid the foundation
Sure.
to you.
I was very lucky.
What's your opinion as an entrepreneur? Is an entrepreneur really an innate ability? Can a person learn to be an entrepreneur, or is it really you have to have that kind of risk-taking, mind-thinking kind of born?
So
what's your opinion?
I will tell you this.
Right.
When I first started, I didn't really realize I was an entrepreneur until my father mentored me, gave me the confidence.
Right.
And then it was finally, when I had that heating and air business, when I did that magical transformation and then showed people the before and after, and they said yes, and now I was doing 10 driveways a week, I realized I could do it. Sometimes it's the confidence factor that's needed.
Critical, right?
And having a support network is important. But I believe absolutely, you can teach entrepreneurship. I don't believe everybody can be an entrepreneur, but I believe if you want to be one, we can teach you how to be one, and we can mentor you and get you there.
I remember part of your journey is talk about Think and Grow Rich. There was a book that you read.
Yes.
Talk about that, and how important was that in your young days, and even today in the marketplace, of reading quality content and getting your mindset. How important is the mindset? Because you said confidence. Confidence is so critical, right?
Absolutely, yes. So one of the things my father mentored me on, his restaurants opened for lunch and they closed at 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
He would get in at 11 a.m. and leave at 3 a.m. Do the math, 6 days a week, that's a long week. Sunday was his one day off, restaurant closed. I'd sit there and watch him. He'd have a stack of journals and newspapers and trade journals next to him on his day off. And I'm like, "Hey, Dad, why are you busy reading all this stuff? And this is your day off. Why don't you take it easy?" He's like, "Kevin," he said, "this is my time to plan for the future. These journals show me what's going on in the business. What are the new cooking methods? What are the new food sources and supply chain opportunities?" So, and then we would go to trade shows together on weekends when he was off. And so he said, "You've got to be reading. It's the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the this, the that." So I started as a young entrepreneur subscribing to newspapers, magazines, and then I started buying books. One of the very first books I bought was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, an unbelievable game changer. Totally, the whole concept of that was if you believe it and if you conceive it and you believe it, you can achieve it. And those were the steps that Napoleon Hill said you can get what you want in life. So I have a saying now that whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. And that is a quote by Paul J. Meyer from the SMI Institute. He's passed away now, but God bless him. I believe that the mind is so powerful that you can get what you want if you just set your sights on it.
A big component of being a successful entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm just going to dive into this question because I just can't hold back on this one. All right, the entrepreneurial world has got, with the exposure of entrepreneurs have been glorified, and you're seeing the magazines, the billionaire high-tech companies, the Lamborghinis, the race cars. what's your what's your perception of how entrepreneurs are displayed, and is it really a reality? Because the reality of entrepreneurship, the game, the struggles, the money, the number of business failures. Talk a little bit about that and what we're seeing in the marketplace versus the reality of entrepreneurship. How do you distinguish the two? Do you think it's over glamorized?
You know, I'll say this: there's a whole slew of entrepreneurs that are in the world of social media. They're becoming influencers, right?
Yes.
Or they are influencers.
Yes.
So what they want to do is show off their success, and I think some of these people take it a little too far sometimes. But at the end of the day, creating content is one of the ways that entrepreneurs today can gain audience, get following, and create a more powerful business.
Right.
Now, do you do it showing yourself driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? Well, if you've got the money and you've done that, and that's not just something you went out and rented,
Point noted.
So,
Point noted.
I mean, I know people that actually, they go rent an airplane for a day, they take a picture of themselves in front of it as if that's their plane, okay? Awesome. Now, I mean, I fly commercial, I fly private, I can do any of that stuff that I want, but that's not my approach. I want to give good value, good content, good nuggets, good tips. My tip isn't go out and buy a Lamborghini and film yourself driving it because, I mean, look, you might have been successful. That's great. Be successful, but maybe put it back into tips and education for entrepreneurs, because that's ultimately what I'm now. There's been a little bit of a shift in the market.
I'll get to that.
We're going to be talking about that. But the bottom line is I don't like the images of all of this, kind of pretend stuff, if it is pretend. Now, I know people that do that, but they also earned it. Okay,
they're real.
That's okay.
The real deal.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I think people are more interested in your message than they are what you're driving.
Cool, awesome. Hey, don't go anywhere. There's more Kevin Harrington to come here on the Business Zone TV show right after this commercial break. Hey, don't go anywhere, because the Business Zone TV show will be right back, right after this quick commercial break. In the Zone TV has the experience to handle your project from concept to completion and deliver compelling video communication that grabs audience's attention.
Together, we can create a visual message that can dramatically improve your bottom line.
In the Zone TV, video production with marketing power. Welcome back to the Business Zone TV show, which is sponsored by In the Zone TV. When you need video production with marketing power, be sure to check out their website at inthezonetv.com and by hjohnmejia.com. If you're looking to take your business to the next level with cutting-edge media, marketing, and sales strategies, be sure to check out hjohnmejia.com. That's hjohnmejia.com. All right, now part two, infomercials. You've generated billions of dollars in infomercial sales. You've made history on TV. Talk about the infomercial world and what you established and what you did.
Love it. Thank you, H. So I was sitting there as an entrepreneur selling businesses. I had the Small Business Center. We're selling pizza parlors, delicatessens, flower shops, restaurants, all kinds of hundreds and hundreds, and then literally thousands of businesses that we sold. I used to go to a lot of trade shows. And I would go to the home shows, because we're selling home and garden stores, and the flower shows and the restaurant shows. And so one day I was at a trade show, and a guy had a knife in his hand, and he's cutting through a Coca-Cola can and through a pair of sneakers and a muffler. It was called the Ginsu knife. And I said, that is the most powerful presentation. The salesman that was doing it, his name was Arnold Morris. And so I got talking to him, and literally right around the same time, I tuned into all things business, and so I bought a new house, and I just ordered cable television. So when I got my cable TV, I got 30 channels, and I'm going through ESPN 24 hours of sports and HBO 24 hours of movies. I get to channel 30, it's Discovery Channel, and there was nothing on TV at the time. So I called the cable company and I said, I love this cable, sports and movies and music, but nothing's on this channel 30. They said, oh, it's only an 18-hour-a-day network. Six hours a day is nothing, because it's a new channel. They don't have enough money to program 24 hours. So here I am. I'm thinking, what can I put in that 6 hour
Right
block?
away you're thinking that way.
How can they put out 6 hours with nothing? I'll find something to put in there. And who did I find? Arnold Morris at the Philadelphia Home Show demonstrating the Ginsu knife.
Holy
so
smoke.
I said to Arnold, I don't know if you've ever watched Discovery Channel. He says, I don't even know what that is. And I said, it's a channel on cable that's only on 18 hours a day. I said, I want to film your pitch, cut a deal with you, and put it on Discovery. And he said, Kevin, if it means I won't have to be at this home show and the Philadelphia, the Iowa State Fair next week, let's do it. So we shook hands on a deal. We filmed it, put it up. I cut a deal with Discovery, and boom, this thing was selling like crazy. So Arnold said, Kevin, we're selling millions of dollars in knives. Then he said, well, do you want to meet Billy Mays? Do you want to meet John Parkin? He had all these pitch guys that he started bringing me, and I was giving him commissions. This was the birth of infomercials. Goes back to the early 80s.
Wow.
We had Arnold Morris, Billy Mays, Jack LaLanne, George Foreman, Tony Little. All these people started coming out of the woodworks. We were doing fitness, we were doing kitchen, we were doing beauty. Eventually it led to doing shows with the Jenners and the Kardashians and the Hiltons and 50 Cent and his headphones. And it's now become mainstream. Infomercials, home shopping. And by the way, infomercials, this is long before QVC ever even existed. We were doing this way back. And so...
You know, one of the things that you did say that was really incredible is that it's not your product. You didn't own the product. You cut the deal. These joint ventures, partnerships. It's not, you don't have to be the inventor. I mean, these are powerful lessons that it's not your product. You're just the guy that's, I'm hearing marketing.
This is the opportunity for everybody out there because I didn't invent the products that did $5 billion in sales that I've done. I didn't invent any of those. I partnered with Jack LaLanne. I partnered with Tony Little. I partner with the right people. But there's ways to structure the deals also. It's not just a straight 50-50 partnership. If I'm going to put up all the money, I got to have a little bit bigger piece. So there's ways to structure, and we can talk about that. But this was the early days, and it was an amazing opportunity to be in on the ground floor.
You know, I used to always chuckle years ago when you had hired me to do a little bit of a short infomercial for you. And I remember you always saying to me, and I think it was, you kept saying, H, I'm looking for my next Snuggie. Remember this? You used to say something like that. I'm thinking, what does he mean? What were you meaning by, share with the audience, what do you mean? I'm looking for the next Snuggie. You're looking for that next.
The next home run.
You want to drive it out of the park. Talk a little bit about that mindset.
In the world that I'm in, now I would go to trade shows and I would take pitches. So we would take, literally thousands of pitches a year. But not every pitch is worth investing in. So we had to set up systems to evaluate the pitches and determine which of these we want to go forward with. So we'd get thousands of pitches, whittle it down to maybe 30 or 40 potential real products we were interested in, do the research, the due diligence, and then we would go back and make offers to the top deals, and then we would then put the money in to produce the shows, etc. So when it's all said and done, if you look at 1,000 things and you end up doing 5, maybe 2 or 3 of those end up working because we were kind of batting on about a 30% success rate, right? So we would be successful on about 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, sometimes 1 out of 2. It depends on the track record in that particular period. But in general, over the time of the last 30-some years, about 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 4 of the projects that we take on, we end up doing well with in some fashion. Some become big home runs, grand slams. Others are singles, others are doubles. But we're always looking for the next Snuggie.
So it sounds like to me, you have to learn to play the numbers game. You got to get at your at bats. You got to look at 1,000 deals to net down to 30. To pick 5 and then hit 1 or 2 home runs. So it's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
It's not one and all done. It's going to be.
It's a numbers game. But the key there is if you don't get the numbers, the pitches, how do you go? I mean, if you're starting today, how do you go get 1,000 pitches from the world? Well, I had built my business around getting good deal flow. So I went to trade shows and I was speaking. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But if I speak at a trade show and there's 3,000 people listening, I'd get 50, 60, 80 submissions right afterwards. So I built a business model that was built on get out there, promote yourself, get the product flow coming to you so you can pick and choose from many, many opportunities.
Incredible.
Because if you only look at 5 deals, you may not make any money on any of them.
You were
if you look at
hustling and grinding
1,000,
back then.
you're going to then have a better chance.
It's a numbers game. All right, I'm going to jump into this one right now. Give me the abbreviated. We could spend a day on this. The abbreviated version. What is the qualification of a good pitch? Give me the foundation, the general foundation.
Okay.
Cliff, Reader's Cliff.
I'm going to give you a multi-step process that I teach, because I do a lot of training and teaching, and so when I tell people how to pitch, and I've now taken over, in the last 35 years, over 50,000 pitches. Okay, so
you're yes, I would imagine.
So and I learned, because I would take pitches and I would say to myself, they missed this and this and this and this. So I put together sort of a pitch cheat sheet. All right, and it goes like this. There's 3 steps: tease them, please them, seize them.
Tease them, please them, seize them.
Right.
I like it. Okay.
Tease them, please them, seize them. Tease, please, seize. You tease with an attention-getting problem.
Okay,
because if you're out, people are out there, they hear a problem that's an attention getter. Yes, I relate to that. Now they're tuning in.
Important.
You got to do that in the first 6 seconds. You got to hit them
6 seconds.
6 to 8 seconds.
Got it.
Get them up front. And you say, wait a minute, how do you get all that done in 6 to 8 seconds? Billy Mays with OxyClean, he spills a meatball sandwich on his shirt within 3 seconds. What are you going to do? You're going into a meeting. You need OxyClean.
Oh, my
so that's
goodness.
the tease, an attention-getting
Understood.
problem. The please is now solve the problem with magical transformations and demonstrations. Okay, so tease, get their attention with a problem. Please solve the problem with solutions, magical transformations, and demonstrations, and then you seize with an irresistible offer. And because you can get their attention, you can convince them that they need it by magically transforming things, but if they can't afford it, or it's way too expensive, or it doesn't make sense, the offer's no good, you're not going to close the sale. Tease, please, and seize.
So is that foundation that you used years ago, it still applies today? Is that game, is that formula, is that hacking code still work today?
It still works.
Still works today.
It works on the internet, it works on TV, it works on radio. It's a very powerful 3-step system.
We're going to come back later. We're going to talk about the disruption in the infomercial world. But when we come back next, we're going to talk about the Shark Tank. You are one of the original sharks, the hit TV show on ABC. So do not go anywhere. Shark Tank original coming up right now on the Business Zone TV show after this commercial break. Hey, don't go anywhere, because the Business Zone TV show will be right back, right after this quick commercial break. In the Zone TV has the experience to handle your project from concept to completion and deliver compelling video communication that grabs audiences' attention.
Together, we can create a visual message that can dramatically improve your bottom line.
In the Zone TV, video production with marketing power. Welcome back to the Business Zone TV show, which is sponsored by In the Zone TV. When you need video production with marketing power, be sure to check out their website at inthezonetv.com and by hjohnmejia.com. If you're looking to take your business to the next level with cutting-edge media, marketing, and sales strategies, be sure to check out hjohnmejia.com. That's hjohnmejia.com. All right, here on part 3, it's about the original shark from Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Show me how Shark Tank came about.
It was pretty amazing conversations that I had in the early days. So one day I'm at a trade show, and this person came up to me very secretively and was asking me all these questions, and I'm like, hey, I'm happy to spend some time with you, but what is all this about? Oh, well, hey, I'm here. I was sent to this trade show by Mark Burnett. He's got a new TV show he's doing, and he wants me to come here and find the movers and the shakers. And so I said, well, that's great. I'm glad I've had a chance to talk to you. If there's anything else you need, please get back to me. So literally the following week, I got a phone call from Mark Burnett. And Mark Burnett is like, hey, Kevin, we've been doing some research out in the marketplace. We got a new TV show that we're doing, and your name has come up. We'd like to meet with you. So I got off the phone with my wife and I said, I'm going to go, see Mark Burnett. He invited me to come out to Los Angeles, and I had asked him about the show, and I said, what's the show all about? He said, look, I can't tell you over the phone. It's called Shark Tank. Just get on out here and I'll tell you when you get here. And when I told my wife, she says, I know why he won't tell you what Shark Tank's all about. Think about it. What does he do to those people on that Survivor show, right? What's he going to do to you on Shark Tank, okay? And I'm like, wait a minute, is this a spoof? So,
is that, you really had a thought like, what's going on here?
It didn't sound like a business show, Shark Tank. But think about it. When I first was on Shark Tank, people said, are you on some kind of a fishing show or something? Because they heard it was called Shark Tank. I said, no, it's a business show. When I got with Mark Burnett, I said, so what is Shark Tank? He said, there's 5 sharks. You sit at the front of the room. People come out. They get 3 minutes to pitch you their idea. And you get 3 minutes to compete against the other 4 sharks to either invest in it or not. You're either in or you're out. And I said, Mark, this is what I do every day.
With light bulbs going on, like, holy smoke.
I go to the houseware show, the hardware show, the fishing show, the golf show, the beauty show. What do? I take pitches. I said, and he says, Kevin, would you be willing to go in the other room and do a screen test right now? And I said, Mark, yeah, this is what I do every day. We went in the other room, they rolled up the cameras, brought the producers in, ABC Network came over. I filmed a mock Shark Tank that day in Mark Burnett's office, and the guy came out of there and said, I can't tell you that you're gonna be accepted, but we've been doing this now for months, and that was the best one that we've seen so far.
Oh my goodness.
So,
holy smoke.
A week later, Mark Burnett, you're our first shark that we're picking.
So they're interviewing a ton of opportunities for sharks.
They were interviewing Mark Cuban. They were interviewing the Tisch family. And by the way, Mark was not a shark on season 1. Okay, it's Mark. What a great find they finally made by getting him in at a later time. But I was chosen to be a shark, and as they said it at the time, and you're going to be our first one. So I was very excited. I said yes, and not really knowing what it was going to be all about. But we shot the pilot, and then I ended up shooting over 150 plus segments on Shark Tank in the early days of shooting Shark Tank.
What was it like meeting the other sharks? You guys are all successful. You're coming together. You're competing against each other. I mean, this is for real, right? You're putting up your real money. This is not staged. You're making the deal. It's not funded by somebody else. This is your deal. You guys are going after.
So I'll never forget the night before we shot Shark Tank. And there were 6 sharks there. But there's only going to be 5. And Mark Burnett said, look, we're not filming this, but one of you will not be shooting the show tomorrow. Right. We've told all of you you're in, but one of you won't be shooting.
What was the reason behind that?
And because Robert Herjavec was on the show Dragon's Den up in Canada. With Kevin O'Leary. And they were going to bring both of them down as 2 of the original sharks also, but Herjavec couldn't get a visa in time, so they put a 6th shark in case the visa didn't come through for him to film.
Holy smoke.
As it turned out, between picking the 6 and then thinking Robert may not make it, he did make it, so they eliminated one of the other people. I made the cut. I was, was one of the 5. And so we started filming, and this was 2009, by the way. So this is 11 years ago now. We filmed the first pilot of Shark Tank.
And what was that experience like? Those first few pitches, you're on set, you're with Mark Burnett, you're doing this thing. Tell me about that. What did that feel like? And what was it? And then was it like, are you guys kind of hesitant? Am I going to jump in? Who's going to do the first deal? This is coming out of
it was crazy. So the rules were this. They're going to come out and pitch. They get 3 minutes to pitch. Do not interrupt them. Let them pitch.
Okay.
So I'm used to that because I like to hear the whole story before I come in and start.
Gotcha.
All right. 30 seconds in. Who's harping on him?
Who?
O'Leary. He's jamming him. He's yelling and screaming. So I'm like, wait a minute. What? I thought we had to wait till they were finished, but he couldn't wait because he'd been filming Dragon's Den for a few years. So he had the experience.
O'Leary. That's Mr. Wonderful?
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
Right? Yeah. And so I joked, you know why he calls himself Mr. Wonderful?
Why is that?
Because nobody else will. Okay. He's the only one that thinks he's wonderful, right? But it was great. Mark Burnett, right before we started filming. By the way, we're in a I think it was about a 50,000 square foot studio, Sony movie lot, where they filmed Clark Gable and the Gone with the Wind, 50-foot ceilings, 16 camera shoot, $1 million set. Okay?
Smoke.
And this is the pilot. We had no pickup, okay? There was no guarantee. We had no deal with the TV network. So there was major investment made in this pilot.
What was the anxiety level, Kevin?
Well,
I
was excited. I didn't have anxiety. I had excitement because this is what I do every day. So Mark Burnett came out. He says, Kevin, what are you thinking? I said, Mark, I tell you, it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. He said, Kevin, look, forget about the 16 cameras. Forget about 150-person crew, okay, for filming this. Because
150 person.
You got audio, you got lighting, you got people helping the people that are pitching, and the setups and the this and the that. And so he said, so just put blinders on. You do this every day, don't you, Kevin? Yes, I do. So when they come out, just act like it's another day at the office. And that was a brilliant piece of advice from Mark Burnett. I never had any anxiousness, any nervousness. I was ready to go. I was tuned in to the pitch.
You
ready
found that
to
zone.
do what I do every single day. I loved it.
Got you. So you lock in. Everything else around you doesn't matter because you're doing your thing.
The only part that was new for me was negotiating against the Sharks, and in some cases, we did partnership deals. So Barbara Corcoran and I did the Cactus Jack fitness product, and Damon John and I did an umbrella product, and Herjavec and I did a perfect pair type of a product, and O'Leary and I did a guitar thing together. So we did ventures, but we also did our own deals.
Did you guys have a sense that this thing would be successful as it has this incredible run that Shark Tank has had? What was your feeling?
In the very beginning, ratings came in decent, but they weren't it wasn't a barn burner. And Shark Tank became a show that that took on a cult following, actually, which is very good. But it took a little bit of time for the word to get out about it. Because, see, when we first came out, we were on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, right up against NFL football. So how do you compete against, they're getting 22 million tune-ins to NFL football. And here we are going head-to-head as a new show. Well, we were getting a good rating, but a lot of the men were watching football. So they ended up moving us around. We tried Tuesday night, Friday night, Sunday night. They found a good place for us, and eventually the ratings sunk. I don't mean sunk in to be good.
Got it.
So they went up, and over the next number of years, it became a juggernaut. And to this day now, it's the #1 business show in the global TV marketplace.
Incredible. When you look back at that experience with Shark Tank, and obviously you're still noted as the original shark, you'll always have that label, and you reflect back, what are some of your takeaways? What are the lessons through that journey, that experience that you've had? What do you take away from that? What were some of the secrets that continued to parlay what you were doing in the marketplace?
Well, it was a beautiful thing being on Shark Tank on ABC Network, because I could invest in something knowing that it was getting 5 to 8 minutes worth of exposure on national television. So we would film the show. I would do the deal, but that wouldn't air for 3 or 4 months. I then had 3 or 4 months to build the website, manufacture the product, get the inventory in, and then I was the first one that had one of my first people that I did, the very first deal I did, I put her on Home Shopping Network the night Shark Tank aired. So we were doing amazing things. So Shark Tank aired, she's on HSN that night. Incredible. We did amazing things, and then we took these people to trade shows, and we put viral videos out in the marketplace. So we used the power of the media behind Shark Tank to take it to the next level. But there was one more thing.
What's that?
ABC Network is where Shark Tank aired. But ABC runs The View and Good Morning America. So now we would go to the other networks on ABC and get exposure for the deals that we had done. So we had a built-in marketing campaign for the products we invested in.
You know, you for so many years in the infomercial world, you were making people stars with their products and their services. You were the brains behind the operation with, behind the camera. And all of a sudden now you're on the forefront, you're in front of the camera. Talk a little bit about that. What was that transition like going from behind the camera to in front of the camera. Tell me about that.
It wasn't as easy as you would think, to be honest with you, because as a businessman, I was good at what I did. Getting the deals, hiring the right talent, and all of that. Now, when I then had to go in front of the camera, that's a whole different skill set.
It is,
so
right?
I enjoyed it on Shark Tank and did a fine job. But as I learned, shooting television, it's a different thing than being the guy behind the camera, right? So so I actually started hiring mentors and coaches in the world of television, how to present and how to look, how to dress, how to posture and your tone and speaking and angles and there's an expertise. People that are good at TV like you are, H, you didn't just one day get up and do it. You evolved and you became better and stronger as you went. So I had to do the same thing, but I immersed myself with different, I probably, believe it or not, I probably spent about $200,000 in coaches and mentors and people to help me learn how to do things in front of a camera.
And the big takeaway is you're open to learn that your prior success did not solidify the future opportunities in a different game. You had to evolve.
That's it.
What's the best deal you did? What's the best deal? And when you refer back,
on Shark Tank?
On Shark Tank, what was the best?
It's a crazy one. And I did, it was called City Kitty. It was a cat toilet training product. A cat jumps on top of the toilet, goes to the bathroom. But the reason, it sounds like a crazy product. It's done over $10 million in sales with millions of dollars in profit. But the point of that is that I said to myself, this is so crazy, it's going to get great viral capabilities because a cat's jumping on the toilet, going to the bathroom. So we got on The View, Good Morning America, The Today Show, and had lots of great press and exposure, and that's why I did that deal.
So
and it
I have a story. All right. Years ago, I went to visit you. You and I reconnected. We were having conversations. You said, come on, let me show you what's up. I said, what do you got going on? What's a new product? Well, let me show you this. I just bought this. You showed me the kitty, right? And I was in there with somebody else. We were just catching up. We walked out and I said, that's what, I don't know what Kevin's doing, right? God's honest truth. 3 days later, my wife walked in. She said, and my wife is like conservative, doesn't buy, she says, look what I just got for the cat. It was the freaking kitty. And I was like, I can't, and I was like saying, I can't believe this is, and it is a hit.
Kevin just made 50 cents.
Kevin just made 50 cents. And I thought, and I'm like saying, I don't know what Kevin's thinking on that deal. Incredible.
Hey, you never know. It's a viral video capabilities of that one.
It is. It's incredible. Your story on Shark Tank is absolutely an incredible journey.
Thank you.
Hey, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, it's the new digital world with Mr. Shark Original, Kevin Harrington. Don't go anywhere. Hey, don't go anywhere, because the Business Zone TV show will be right back, right after this quick commercial break. In the Zone TV has the experience to handle your project from concept to completion and deliver compelling video communication that grabs audience's attention.
Together, we can create a visual message that can dramatically improve your bottom line.
In the Zone TV, video production with marketing power. Welcome back to the Business Zone TV show, which is sponsored by In the Zone TV. When you need video production with marketing power, be sure to check out their website at inthezonetv.com and by hjohnmejia.com. If you're looking to take your business to the next level with cutting-edge media, marketing, and sales strategies, be sure to check out hjohnmejia.com. That's hjohnmejia.com. All right, back here with Kevin Harrington for part 4, the digital new world. So with the infomercials, you were rocking and rolling. You had the formula, the secret sauce. You guys were cranking it. And all of a sudden, Kevin, something happened.
Yes.
And you called it disruption. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, okay. So we had a public company on the New York Stock Exchange, built to $500 million in sales. At one time, it was making $40, $50 million a year in profit, just crushing it all over the place. Right. I'm a big shareholder in the company, president of the company, et cetera, and co-founder of one of the biggest entities inside of it, right? So make a long story short, television viewership started a big decline. It's no secret. TV, radio, newspapers. You know, there's been actually in the last 10 years a 50% decline.
50%. Okay.
50% decline in TV viewership.
Wow.
So here I am, Mr. As Seen on TV, known as Seen on TV Inc., as Seen on TV.com, and people are running away from television. There's been over 60 million people who have cut the cord from cable television just in the United States. So
60 million
my business is built on people being on TV, zapping across channels, watching infomercials.
Right.
And now sales
I was one of them.
were declining. So I said I needed to find a new way because we saw sales declining. And
when it initially happened, you're like, hey, wait a minute, is this a fluke? I mean, as you're seeing that happening, a lot of times people would continue to throw more money at, well, this is going to come back. This is just a fad. It's going to come back. Let's just throw more money. When did you realize and make a decision to start?
It was a gradual turn. Yeah. It wasn't like one day it's here and now it's tomorrow it's 50% less.
Right.
It was a gradual slide.
Gotcha.
But we just saw our web sales dropping, and also Amazon was coming on. So again, disruption. Amazon taking our customers because people are watching. They're watching Netflix, not cable television. Okay, and they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Pinterest. So we started a digital division, and now we said, okay, maybe TV sales are dropping, but digital sales started surging. So now as a company, we do 80% of our business on a digital world. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and we still do a little bit of TV. We still do some retail.
So TV's not all dead.
It's not all dead,
it's
but
maybe
it's 80%.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But we use affiliates. We use influencers. We use micro influencers. We use celebrity influencers.
Gotcha.
It's a whole different world. 10 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as Kylie Jenner creating her own beauty line, creating $1 billion business.
Incredible.
By the way, she didn't use television. She used the internet.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay?
Incredible.
That's what we do. We work with celebrities. We work with influencers. We launch products differently today, but that was the disruption, was television viewership declining by 50%, Amazon coming out and trying to crush everybody.
Now, what was it like learning that new skill set, new game in town, right?
It was tough.
It was tough?
It was tough because digital involved algorithms and lots of really fine tuning. I mean, a lot of these younger kids that have come up now as entrepreneurs have learned a lot of the stuff that I call myself an old entrepreneur. I've had to learn from the kids, and fortunately now I employ a lot of younger digital talent that's showing ourselves how to do this. In fact, I've got 2 kids of my own that are in the business. Incredible. My son's 31 years old, and my other son's 22 years old. The 2 of them are involved in my business, helping me with the digital marketing.
So just so I understand, the foundation of product, your step process and the pitch, in creating engagement, it's just a different game that you're playing.
Yes.
I mean, you're still delivering a solution to people to help with their problems. It's just a different conduit to get to the people, right?
This is one of the big differences.
Okay.
For 35 years, I was the infomercial guy.
Yes.
The 30-minute infomercial, right?
Yep.
But you can't just take a 30-minute infomercial and put it on Facebook.
Yes.
It's not going to work. People on Facebook, they want to see shorter. The attention span is a lot different today than it was 10 years ago. So you need shorter videos. They need to get in very quickly. They might be 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds. If you hook them, you might get them to watch longer segments. But the initial videos have to be very quickly getting people engaged. You've got 4 to 6 seconds. I mean, look, TikTok, I think, is a 10-second platform. That's the whole length of the spot, 10 seconds. So you got to be doing things in 2 and 3 and 4 seconds to get the hook, to get them to listen. So we've engaged many of these experts and gurus in the world of digital, and now we've transitioned from an as seen on TV company to really a digital company, and that's where the future is.
When you're asked to speak around the world, around the globe, you're actually heading to Asia later on this month and traveling the world, helping global brands, helping entrepreneurs. I mean, that's the space that you're in right now. You're helping these companies and entrepreneurs with your products and services and helping them play the new digital game. That's what you guys are doing right now?
Yes, absolutely. So I have 3 buckets of what I do today. Number 1, I've been a product guy for 35 years. We've got a dozen plus products that we're involved in launching. Right now, we're on the shopping channels, QVC, HSN, retail distribution, a little bit of television, but digital distribution, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So we do products. I then have about 20 plus investments that I've made. So that's the other part of my life is overseeing my investments, sitting on boards, mentoring,
Gotcha.
and advising.
Gotcha.
So that's the second part of my life. The third part is coming out of Shark Tank, I started getting asked to go speak and entertain and share my message around the world. Shark Tank runs in 100 countries. There's a Shark Tank in Australia with Australian sharks. There's a Shark Tank in Israel with Israeli sharks. So I travel the world, tune in to the Shark Tanks and the sharks around the world, and speak and teach entrepreneurship all around the world, from India to Asia to Southeast Asia, Kuala Lumpur, Taipei, Hong Kong, Shanghai, China, Europe, Latin America. Last year I did about 85 entrepreneurial events around the world.
Wow.
And this year will be a few more probably.
Talk about the game that you're playing today versus over the years. Every time I talk to you, every time we catch up, it's always about products, ideas, your energy, your passion. You're 24/7. Your energy is electric. I mean, is it about doing what you love? Is that what the key secret is? Is it about being passionate? I mean, what keeps driving you today is?
That's a great question, H. I think doing what you love is important. I loved making money doing heating and air conditioning, but it was labor intensive and it was going to be a small business in Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm a global entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I sell products in India, I sell products in Europe, I sell products in Latin America. So the beauty of today's world is people can wake up in the morning, come up with an idea, and literally within days or weeks, take it on a global basis. There are global infrastructures set up to be able to take an order in the language in the local market, ship the product, fulfill it, etc., as long as you tune in to how to do things the right way. So I coach and mentor people on how to become a global entrepreneur. And so when I'm in Taipei meeting entrepreneurs, they want to get their products into the United States. We are the bridge to help them do that. And so just as well as helping people in the United States get their products into Taipei and other markets around the world. So the opportunity out there is unlimited, and there is no better time to be an entrepreneur than right now.
Incredible. And where can people go to get that mentorship from you, to learn from you, get some guidance from you and your team? Is there a website where can we direct people?
Real simple. KevinHarrington.tv.
KevinHarrington.tv.
Yeah, it's KevinHarrington.TV.
And we'll have on the bottom of the screen as well.
There's some free downloads and books and chapters and things that we can give you at that point. We'd love to give you like a lot of little freebies to get you going, so you can kind of get warm and fuzzy on the world of entrepreneurship.
Awesome. Dynamite. That's KevinHarrington.tv. That's the end of part 4. When we come back to part 5, Kevin's going to get some secret sauce insight to us and give us some secrets when we come back here on the Business Zone TV show. Hey, don't go anywhere, because the Business Zone TV show will be right back, right after this quick commercial break. In the Zone TV has the experience to handle your project from concept to completion and deliver compelling video communication that grabs audience's attention.
Together, we can create a visual message that can dramatically improve your bottom line.
In the Zone TV, video production with marketing power. Welcome back to the Business Zone TV show, which is sponsored by In the Zone TV. When you need video production with marketing power, be sure to check out their website at inthezonetv.com and by hjohnmejia.com. If you're looking to take your business to the next level with cutting-edge media, marketing, and sales strategies, be sure to check out hjohnmejia.com. That's hjohnmejia.com. All right, welcome back, Kevin. Part 5. We're going to get some secrets out of you, some insight. Continue on what you've given us here. It's been absolutely incredible, these 4 parts, and talking to you. All right, let's go around the clock here. Talk about your morning ritual. What time does Kevin Harrington get up? Does Kevin Harrington even speak with all these great opportunities that you're working on? What time do you get up? What are your first 2-3 hours a day? What's your ritual?
Great question. I wake up. And obviously, one of the challenges is the travel schedule that I've got. So if I fly 18 hours to Singapore, which is about 17 hours and 40 minutes to get there from LA, I'm going to land and be a little tired. So it upsets some of the schedules.
Let's keep the U.S.
If I'm here in the U.S., I wake up around 6 a.m.
6 a.m., okay.
And my first thing is to get up, and I do a little bit of exercise in the morning. Right at my house, because I travel about 50% of the time. I don't have to worry about a gym. I have a ritual in my hotel room. It's a 15-minute just blood booster to get
Okay.
the blood flowing.
Okay.
Okay,
That's critical to get it
jumping
going.
jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, all things I can do in the comfort of my home. If I'm at home,
Yep.
in the comfort of my hotel room.
Yep.
If I'm at home,
Right.
I'll sometimes run in the neighborhood, do a little jog around the block.
Okay.
Type of thing. Get the blood flowing. I occasionally will go to a gym, but I'm not a gym rat. I
Okay.
prefer to, I'm an old wrestler from high school. So,
okay.
Old kind of isometrics,
Yeah.
Just using
Okay.
your own body weight
Gotcha.
and push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups, etc. So that's how I get up.
Okay.
I love a little espresso in the morning,
Get
kind
you
of give me a
going.
little
Good.
jump start. Then I get right on. The night before, I've always downloaded what's my schedule for the next day, so I know what I'm doing up and running. My day consists of podcasts, conference calls, board calls, advisory calls,
Okay.
in-person meetings, and filming. So we're filming right
Yep.
now. I film 3 or 4 days a week
Yep.
in my house. We
Yep.
have a studio.
Yes.
We have an office. We'll film wherever it takes. I film every one of my events gets filmed also. So creating content is important as an entrepreneur. So I get the blood flowing, get a little pickup
Yep.
with a little espresso,
Yep.
then start the day off and running hot and heavy.
Okay. Talk about diet. How important is diet? What kind of, do you follow a diet of certain foods that you eat, don't eat? And
Yes.
what does diet, does
I'm
diet
really
affect you?
a nut about
I mean,
diet.
you look great. I mean,
Thank you.
you're always
I'm
lean
the
and mean.
same weight today that I was when I graduated high school. Now,
Yeah.
I've gained a few pounds. I've got them
Yeah.
back off.
Yeah.
I start the morning with some protein. I have protein, either a protein drink if I'm home,
Okay.
which I can make with my blender. On the road, I have protein snacks,
Okay.
protein bars. I love.
So you're making conscious effort of what you put in your
I
mouth.
load up on protein because your body needs that protein
Okay.
to function, right?
Okay.
So I stay away from a lot of fats during the day.
Okay.
I do a heavy protein day: chickens, fishes,
Okay.
porks for lunch.
Yep.
Breakfast, and then breakfast is protein powder, protein
Okay.
bar. Lunch, it's heavy up on protein, and then dinner. I allow myself to get away a little bit and have a little bit of maybe an indulgence, because I always like to have a little bit of dessert.
Okay.
I'm okay to have some sweets.
Yeah.
I'm okay to eat some pasta.
Okay.
I've been working hard all day. My body's burning it. Okay.
Yep.
So I always finish my day with a reward to myself. I'll have an ice cream sundae. I'll have a piece of cake, but I don't eat endless
Gotcha.
amounts of it. Just enough to
Discipline,
get a
control.
little bit
Okay.
of reward, and then off to the races. So I don't eat right before I go to bed, because I
Gotcha.
don't want it sitting
Yeah.
in my stomach. So
Yeah.
it's important to eat right.
You
and
have
I'm
that
focused.
wrestler's discipline that
I
you
have
learned
that
years
wrestler's
ago.
discipline,
That's
because I had
good.
to make weight every match,
Did you?
right?
All
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about what would you think some of your key attributes are about you that have made you successful. You kind of define a few for us. We've already seen through your stories, or heard through your stories rather. What would you say some of your key attributes are that have given you the great success that you've had, Kevin?
So I look at every product, and I almost in my mind see the TV show. So
Okay.
I'm envisioning the demonstrations.
Images, right.
I'm seeing the before and afters. I'm seeing the magical transformations. I'm seeing the kind of talent that might be good for this. So that I never even realized that I had that I had that as an asset to
Visionary,
myself, to be able to actually visualize the actual show as I'm seeing it being viewed in front of me. So, but I also like to take a look at people and find their strengths.
Yeah.
Not everybody is good at everything.
Yeah.
I focus on people's strengths, and then I surround them with the people that they need to complement their strengths. Because I'm a marketing guy. I'm not a finance guy. I'm not an operations guy. I surround myself with finance and operations people. So when I meet somebody that's an entrepreneur, find out their weaknesses, I help them with those and support them. So
Gotcha.
I think this is why one of the roles that I play today is advising and helping advisory services to companies solving their problems. I help them raise capital. I help them position themselves in the market. I help them bring on more executives. I help them create content. So I think the important thing in today's world, it's not the old day of of Fox and ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yep.
It's streaming television now. It's not the as seen in TV days. There's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to be able to create amazing content, build their brand.
Yep.
And so this is what I help people do. I help Tony Little build his brand, Jack LaLanne and Billy Mays. I help people build their brand, create a powerful entrepreneurial experience.
Absolutely incredible, and the impact that you're making on a day-to-day basis. When you reflect back on your business journey that you've had, and there's a long road ahead of you. What do you reflect on from the business side, not family or kids, etc.?
Right.
What do you value most from your years of experience and the success you've had in business, Kevin?
So I think I value I value my relationships I've established over 35 years. I mentioned
you
QVC.
must have your Rolodex is incredible.
One of my buddies at QVC has been there for 30 years. So when I call him up and ask him for advice, this is who you got to call for this, and this is who you call for that.
Yeah.
So you know what, H, when you think about it, I have a golden Rolodex, okay?
Yeah.
Why do people come on Shark Tank?
Yeah.
They want money, but sometimes they'll say, I don't care as much about the money as being able to get Mark Cuban's Rolodex, to be able to open the doors to get me in to see the right people. So I have a Rolodex, maybe not as good as Mark Cuban's, but it's pretty powerful. And in the world of products, it's better than Mark Cuban's. So I'm going to tell you that this is what I love, is to be able to take a look at an entrepreneur and look him in the eyes and say, this is what you need to do to take yourself to the next level. One of my last books was called How to Become a Key Person of Influence. And there's a step-by-step system to becoming a key person of influence, building your brand, raising your profile, becoming one of the key people in your industry that gets that phone call when that big listing is coming up, or when that celebrity is coming to town and needs some help. They're going to call you if you're that realtor that's looking for that person. So the bottom line is become a key person of influence, and this can change your life as an entrepreneur.
Last question. If you were able to talk to your younger self and go back in time and have that little 20-minute conversation, what would you tell the younger Kevin Harrington back on his journey that you're about to embark on? What type of advice would you give at that point?
So here I am. I started in the world of as seen on TV, had a great run, but it went like this, a bell-shaped curve. Retail stores, what's happening? It's sort of a bell. They're having trouble, right? Many chains are closing down, Kmart and Sears and Toys R Us. And so what's happened? Amazon is coming. They're a $1 trillion company that just keeps crushing it. So if I had it to do all over again, I would have tuned into Amazon 10 years earlier. We do a lot of business on Amazon, but there are young entrepreneurs that are building businesses and selling them from Amazon. And this is something that I think this is one of the waves of the future, is creating Amazon businesses. And so we're tuning into it now and have been for the last few years, but I think I'm a little late to the game, and I just want to say that there's a big play in Amazon. If you have a product or any kind of a product that would be applicable for that, don't just put it on Amazon. There's a whole way to structure it the right way, get the right people to partner with, and now we consider ourselves those people. So tune in earlier to the world of Amazon, because it's just, who's the wealthiest guy in the world? I think it's Jeff Bezos from Amazon. So he's done a great job, and it's not a bell-shaped curve, by the way. It's continuing to go like this.
That's the game that's played, and you made the adjustment, and you're living proof of that. Always a pleasure to connect with you. I've always admired you over the years. It's always been great to work with you and see great things that you're doing. Your energy is absolutely electric. It rubs off on people, and the direction you're going is always action and doing. So we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the Business Zone TV show with me, and we wish you continued success and always look forward to talking to you in the future, Kevin.
H, thank you. It's great to be here. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Wow, what absolutely incredible, inspirational stories from Kevin Harrington. That's a wrap for the entire Business Zone TV show crew. I'm H. John Mejia, and we look forward to seeing you on our next show.